I hate to sound like conspiracy, right? Like there's, but in order for you to get as big and as viral and as like popular, sometimes there's certain things that are going to play out a certain way in order for you to get that exposure. And sometimes you have to do certain things, be willing to do certain things or be in certain situations to get those views and those clicks and stuff, right? And it comes down to how bad do you want it. Because I've seen plenty of times how people are exposing like artists lately and saying like, oh yeah, they actually aren't great people. You know, they're actually like fucked up. It's just that the image that they're presenting to us, right, is who we fall in love with, who we decide like, oh yeah, we're gonna support them. Because what I was gonna go into was like the thing with Lizzo,
Oh, okay.
you
Oh,
know,
right. Yeah.
and so like how what's her image? Body positivity, like anti-bullying, like women empowerment. You know, all these things that
Yeah.
she was like supposed to represent or like her image represents, right? And then for people to kind of get a little taste of what she actually is like to work with, like someone that's like now a boss, a teammate, like their experience that they're experiencing as opposed to like a fan, right? Because we'll never get that close to them to actually know what they're really like, as opposed to these people that work for them, you know.
Yeah.
And again, um, I I I honestly I don't know how I feel about the Lizzo situation. Um, I think it's very hard to know what the real truth is. I don't think anybody's ever really. But you know how they say there's there's what, three sides to the story:
Right. Right. Right.
her side, his side, and the truth, right?
Right.
So we just will never really know, you know. Um, and I think Lizzo's the best example because things have been coming out, and like at first everyone wasn't like, they were just like, oh, it might be one of those things again where it's like made up. But as you know how what they say, when someone's lying, um, if the lie is very like vague, like this whatever story they're telling is very vague and like it kind of keeps switching up, they're most likely lying. But it's harder to lie when things are in specifics, like specific situations, times, places, like because it's easier to kind of track information that way to kind of debunk stuff. And so when the lawsuit dropped again, this is just coming off of TikTok because that's like my source of information as far as when people are like telling us what's going on because they're going and reading the court documents and then kind of breaking it down for you.
Yeah.
There seems to be very specific times and situations that are being referenced that can be like, I guess, fact checked.
Okay.
And so it just wasn't looking good for Lizzo.
Yeah.
Um I know, okay, like the sexual allegations, like the harassment, that one obviously is not something to like take lightly. But then the thing about like fat shaming and what's it called? Also it was like religious, I don't know if the word is discrimination or like it's more because it seemed like one of the people that worked under Lizzo, she was like a Christian and was like pushing her beliefs on the other dancers, which is never okay to do, you
Hmm.
know? Um and then of racial discrimination in the workplace, of how the black dancers, because now this is from the production company, Liz's production company, it's mostly white people, them having complaints about the women of color, specifically black women, and going with this typical stereotype of like they're lazy, they have bad attitude, they're not working hard enough, referring to them in that manner and not the other women that were part of the team and not saying that about them. So again, going with the stereotype of how black women are. So all those things, like you're like, yo, it's everything. It's like opposite of everything that she's saying she like stands for.
Yeah.
You know, especially like the fat shaming. Like how does that?
So she's Gus in the bench warmers.
Yes, but whereas Gus and Bench Warmers, he like eventually like sees the error of his ways and stuff and like is trying to repent, that she's not that. She's not repenting. She's like got NDAs in place so people can't talk. Like she even
Mm.
talks about it in one of her songs, like, you
Well,
know?
right. Well, in the sense that like because of what she's pushing, but she's exactly that,
Oh right,
like
yeah.
the
Right.
opposite,
Right.
and how it comes about in the bench warmers where like he runs into the person that he was bullying himself back in the day. So
Gus Bus.
yeah, Gus Bus. That's what she is. You know. you know.
The thing with Lizzo, because I know a lot of people were like saying like, oh, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon of like, I knew there was something off about her. I didn't like her from the get. I just didn't want to say anything because nobody else was gonna believe it. I'm like, I'm sure there's like genuine people that probably had like an inkling about how she was, you know. I know majority of people are like the reason they're so quick to get on it because I know that's like about the fat phobia because now they're like, right, so now people don't like her, so now this gives me a reason. I don't have to really say why because at the end of the day people still don't like fat people, you know. So and I know with Lizzo specifically, since the whole body positivity,
Yeah.
you could not say anything because then you were a hater and you were fat phobic. Like you could not have an opinion about it because automatically she'd be like, "Oh, bully, you're a bully. You're
Yeah.
a bully because you're calling me fat. You're a bully because I have my ass out at the at the sports arena
Yeah.
when we know damn well they're not wiping down those seats like that. They're just
And
bare ass,
nobody,
bare ass. No, not even skinny girls would wear
right?
that.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody was out here doing that.
But she was like, if y'all say something, y'all being negative, y'all a bunch of
Nah.
haters. You know, and it's like, no, sis, you could have done something else, like
Yeah.
anything else. Like,
That had nothing to do with it. It
yeah,
was just like, yo, you're at a basketball game. like, there's an audience. Like,
that's not a place to make fashion statements. I'm sorry.
right.
Do that at the Met Gala. I don't know. Not.
There's also children there. Like,
Oh, don't you dare say that because, like,
what?
No, because I'm
Oh,
just saying there's gonna be people like I know, like in the comments when people would say that, like to be like, hey, there's children here. I'm like, oh, they've never seen a human body. Like, just I'm like, guys, like, honestly, there's what is it? There's fashion decorum, so that means that there's like we don't have that anymore. Where it's like there's certain places where there needs to be like dress code, and there's not dress code at a lot of places anymore.
right.
And there's certain places where it's like, hey, maybe that's not something I want to wear like that to. I'm sure there's another place you can wear it to, right? But not at a basketball game. Just like at any other place, like, I know everybody likes to joke around how everybody like, has like the most ridiculous outfits to go to like Walmart,
Yeah.
Like I can't believe they stepped out, but it's like, oh, what's like the Walmart vibe? That's where you want to do it if you're gonna do those,
Yeah.
like. But yeah, we don't have that anymore, and I think that leaves room for the conversations of like, you don't get to tell me what I'm because now you're a hater.
Okay, yeah. No, that's
Like,
true. That I would say that too. I just said it because what was I looking for? Family event. Because not even like the cheerleaders do that. And like we know other stuff goes down at basketball games, but exactly like you're just one of them too. When they get into fights, you know, that's that too, right? So
oh, like I'm a cause problem.
right, like it was like one of those things. That's all we were saying. Nothing about shaming this or that. It was just like your outfit. That's it. Like, come on. That's all it had to do with. And
I'm done.
yeah.
Yeah.
So more of that, right? And then, damn, what the hell was I gonna say? Also, shit.
We were saying like family friendly, and for sure, like I think people don't value that there's certain places where you just shouldn't. They're
Well,
still children. Like,
yeah, like I, cause there's certain things like I see at school events, and I'm just like, yo, like, yeah, y'all don't give a damn. Like, These are elementaries. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who does that?
You know why that is. They've actually talked about it like on social media how like we as like a society, like the United States as a society, is not kid friendly. Even though they keep pushing like have children, they're not kid friendly. We're not a kid friendly society. We want what children to be seen and not heard. Think about McDonald's. It's not kid friendly anymore.
Mm-mm.
Name me a place where it's actually okay to have your kids be kids. Without,
Damn.
there's not. And so exactly, it's part of that. It's like when you even make statements like that, people all of a sudden like, why are you saying shit like that? And it's like, no, because it's true and we should talk about it though.
No, yeah, for
You
real.
know, like
Like,
we should talk about it. Like, yo,
why y'all wanting them like exposed to all this so early and to grow up so early? Like,
right,
let them be children. What the hell?
right.
The hell's the matter with y'all? So, but yeah, like that's just what it is. All the words, whatever. Just if there was like one word that could just describe all that, I would tell you. I don't know. I gotta come up with it. Oh, but for sure, right now, Ryan Davis is having the ball, and I'm pretty sure Ari Spears is coming up next with something to say because they're the ones that got, uh, you know, most shit out of it because they're the ones that talked about that basketball game about her. So of course when that came out, yeah, Ryan Davis was on it. Yeah. Like, see, I've been saying, that it's not about that, but and also with what Ari Spears would agree with is that like, we make fun of Rick Ross, point blank period, like straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but like right, like so when we called him out for doing stuff, making fun of it and whatnot, and I didn't know he did all that. To be honest, there's like stuff because when he was
Okay, man. To be fair, he was kind of going in. Like, there's, I'm like starting to remember the shit he was saying. But I think it was more just because, like, again, at the time, everybody was being a little sensitive about the situation and like didn't want to hear it again with the whole like agenda that was being like pushed at the time. Like, I feel like we're kind of in that sense making improvements because like, hey, we really do need to call out the bullshit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But he was kind of hella going in. He was.
he was.
Because there were certain things where it's like, I don't. It was like a thing where they're like, why did he bring her up? Because she wasn't even a topic of conversation. It just bothered him so much that he's like, I have to say something. And I think that's where like people lost the message of what he was trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm saying they like having a ball right now about it because they're like, we try to tell y'all.
No, yeah, and like really quick tea because it's like only TikTok tea, but Lizzo is actually a side chick, so yeah.
Maybe that's why this is all coming out.
Receipts on that one. That one was
Sounds
crazy.
like bet.
Yeah, the guy she's with, he left his girlfriend of 10 years because he did this like show with Lizzo and they're like messing around the whole time and then like broke up with the girlfriend and was like, oh yeah, by the way, like I'm gonna start dating Lizzo now. And then like, can you imagine the girl like you get dumped, your boyfriend's like of 10 years, right? And then he's like dating Lizzo and then she gets a Grammy and then like your life is going to shit, like.
So let me, if I were to see Lizzo, I'd ask her, why men great till they gotta be great? Isn't that her song? There you go. What you mean? You've been on the side now too? What the hell? What you mean? Are you explain that? What the hell? So when was he great in all this? Is he still like what are you talking about? But
Yeah, I guess 'cause they're
again,
engaged now, so.
again, there you go, just exploiting everything. For real, you know.
She's just like proving the point, like how everybody's like hashtag side chicks stay winning.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you have it, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
Another Ariana Grande out here. You know what I'm saying?
They're all like, Ariana's team's probably like, oh, thank God the whole Lizzo thing came out right now because they're not really talking about her anymore.
Yeah,
Like now it's Lizzo's the bigger topic
for
right
real,
now. So
for real.
we'll see what happens with that one. We'll stay tuned with the whole suing thing because
Yeah. Well, Ariana was kind of telling you, whereas Lizzo was kind of the opposite of that.
which is what I said. Which is what I said the last time. I was like, right, again, it's a thing where like I hate repeating this, but men let white women slide on shit, you know.
Ooh, yeah.
And that just goes to show because like, oh no, it's like she's like innocent, she wouldn't do nothing like that, and she's like, no, but and the thing is like it's the thing where it's like she's been telling us that's what she does. It's just we choose to like no because of her image. It's all about image, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah. Now this is gonna take over it. Yep.
Well, okay, because now it's funny because they're like doing TikToks where it's like the girl's like calling her boyfriend and or no, the boyfriend's calling the chick his girlfriend, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe who's here right now, right?" And then she's like, "Who?" And then he's like, "Ariana Grande," and she's like, "You," she's like, "You need to leave right now," like, and she's like, "And don't you even dare think about telling her you have a girlfriend. You're single if she asks because since Ariana likes to date,
Oh.
you know." Like, you're fucking single if she asks. Don't you dare say you have a girlfriend.
Wow.
Because she only likes men that are taken.
Shit.
I was like, that's crazy. But the fact that, again, it's those kind of jokes instead of being like, she's a fucking homewrecker. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
They're just making it like, oh, it's funny. Like,
Mm.
like a lot of bitches are like, oh, I hope that she just eventually like heals her like daddy issues, like, because homegirl's been going through. I'm like, no, she's a fucking homewrecker at this
That's
point. Like,
that's funny because how it correlates with like serial killers. Like they want to find out or make it more about like, oh, it's because they grew up this way and had this thing going on and so forth. And here we go again. Like it's just all parallel. You
mm-hmm.
know.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah. It just doesn't apply to all the entire color spectrum of it all. It's just what it is. What we get through those lenses, through
and
that RGB, you know, display. You feel me?
and that's why I say it's okay to fight, girls. It's okay to fight, bitches. Speaking of fights,
Oh yeah. Speaking of fights,